Guys, please confirm to me. All of you read my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. Am I audible, guys? Please confirm to me. All of you read my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online, please confirm to me. Am I audible? Yes, please confirm to me. All of you read my voice on screen. Those who are attending in online. All right, sir. So now check it what we completed in the last session. So I think so we are discussing about that introduction content of the JDBC. In JDBC, what content we sorted there? In general, in enterprise applications, it's a convention to provide organizations data like employee data, services data, clients data, customers data, products data, and so on. In the enterprise applications, to provide all the above details, we have to use storage areas. Right. How many types of storage areas are available? If you observe this, there are two types of storage areas. What are the two types of storage areas now? First one is what there? Temporary storage areas. And the second one is what? Permanent storage areas. Permanent storage areas. Temporary storage areas and permanent storage areas. Right. What is temporary storage area? What is the meaning of these temporary storage areas and what is the meaning of permanent storage areas? Temporary storage areas, if you observe this, now tell me. So these storage areas are, these are the memory elements. These are the memory elements. These are the memory elements to store data temporarily. To store data temporarily. All right. Examples for temporary storage areas like what there? Buffers. Next one is what there? Java objects. Java objects. Next one is after that. Permanent storage areas. What are these permanent storage areas? These are memory elements. These are the memory elements to store data. To store data permanently. These are the memory elements to store data permanently. What are the various examples for these permanent storage areas now? First one is what there? File systems. And next one is what there? Database management systems. And the third one is what there? Data warehouses. Data warehouses. These are overall the three types of permanent storage areas. Now immediately here we are getting a question. What was that question here we are getting? No, already we have file systems. Then what is the requirement to go for database management systems? That means the question here of what I am giving there. What are the differences between file systems and the database management systems? Database management systems. Answer is very clear. Try to understand it now. Almost a few answers here I have given there. 4 to 5 answers I have given. The very first one is what? Now tell me, what is the first answer here? File system is the database dependent. File system is database dependent. Sorry. File system is what? Platform dependent. It is not suitable for the platform independent programming languages like Java. But whereas whereas database management system is platform independent. All right, sir. It is very much suitable. It is very much suitable for the platform. It is very much suitable for the platform independent programming languages. Point number one. Next one is another point here. File systems are able to store lesser data. File systems are able to store what data? Lesser data. Whereas database management systems are able to store more data. File systems are able to store less data, whereas database management systems are able to store what data? More data. Next one is after that. File systems are able to provide lesser security, whereas database management systems are able to provide more security. Right. Fourth point, security is okay. Code redundancy, data redundancy. File systems are able to provide more data redundancy, means the data duplication. But database management systems are able to reduce data redundancy. Next one is after that. Query languages support is not available with the file systems. Query language support is not available with the file system, but database management systems are having query language support. Query language support is available for what? Their database management systems. Database management systems have query language support. So database operations are very simple in the case of database management systems, but database operations are very much difficult in the case of like what there in the case of file system. These are the various points here we understood clearly. It's okay, fine. Differences between file system and database management systems here we understood. But again, one more point here I'm telling there. What are the differences between database management systems and data warehouses? Only two differences here we understood there. What are the two differences? No, in the relative comparison, database management systems are able to store less data. In the relative comparison, data warehouses are able to store more data. When compared with the file systems, database management systems are able to store more data. But when compared with the data warehouses, database management systems are able to store less data. Point number two. Database management systems are not having fast retrieval mechanisms. Database management systems do not have fast retrieval mechanisms. Right, whereas data warehouses are having fast retrieval mechanisms in the form of data mining techniques. Right, sir. Data mining is a separate mechanism. There so many algorithms are implemented, so many techniques are available to read the data fastly, but it is not available with what their database management systems. That the two differences here we can identify about this. Overall, after completion of this, then we understood clearly. Another important interview question here I have asked there. What are the differences between database and database management system. What's the difference between database and database management systems? So we know already this point here. What is database and what is database management systems? If you observe this, yesterday I given some points too. First of all, database is a storage to store data or to manage the data. Database is a memory storage to store the data or to manage the data. Instead of saying that manage, not to store data. All right. But whereas database management system is a software system, it is able to manage the data by storing it in the databases and by retrieving it from the databases. Of course, just only two operations like here we specified, but all database operations. Access the data. Access data in the sense, accessibility of the data in the sense, we can perform all the CRUD operations. CRUD operations are what they're create, read, update, and delete. They are the basic database operations. Okay, this is one level definition that we have to understand. Next one is the second point here. Database is the collection of interrelated data. Database is the collection of interrelated data. But whereas, what is this database management system? The database management system, DBMS, is the collection of interrelated data and a set of programs to access the data. Again, I'm telling you, accessing the data in the sense like what they, like all the CRUD operations. What CRUD operations get, like what they inserting data, updating data, retrieving data, deleting data. These are like what their CRUD operations. Okay, fine. Now observe carefully. After this, after understanding this, the basic definitions here we provided. Observe carefully. After completion of this content here, what next one here we are able to provide? How many types of database management systems are available that we have to understand? There are, of course, so many types are available, but best examples here I'm telling to you. There are three types of database management systems. What are the three types of database management systems here? First one is relational database management system. Now this is also be called as like what there RDBMS. This is like what there RDBMS. Right, sir. Here itself I want to give the clarity. No, all right. It is able to represents the data in the form of tables. Next one is what there. It uses SQL2 as a query language to perform the database operations. Again, I'm telling there, what are the database operations here? No, the database operations are like what are the CRUD operations, like inserting data, updating data, retrieving data, deleting data. These are like what are the CRUD operations. So we can understand it now. Right, so leave this one. Next one is what there. All right, so object oriented database management system. Object oriented database management system. It is able to represent the data in the form of the objects as per the object oriented features. Then next point here, it uses OQL. What is this OQL actually? Object to query language. It uses OQL, object to query language, as a query language to perform the database operations. Next one is after this, number 3, object relational object relational database management system. Object relational database management system. It's able to represent the data. Is able to represent the data in the form of tables and objects. That's depending on our requirement in which form we want to maintain the data. It is able to represent data in the form of tables and objects. Next one is it uses SQL3 as a query language to perform the database operations. But what is this SQL3 actually? SQL3 is equal to SQL2 plus OQL. It is a combination of SQL and OQL. Both are included inside this SQL3. Right. So now these are the points already we understood about, like what they're all the database management systems, and like what the types of database management systems, and the types of the like permanent storage areas, like what file systems, and what next one here database management systems and data warehouses. The total introduction about this database and its content here we completed. Okay, now let's move on to the next point here. After this, say this one. The next topic would be query processing system. Query processing system. So what is this query processing system? What is the requirement of it? Now the question is what? If I open SQL query, that means if I open query prompt, for example, if I take query prompt, now this is command prompt, SQL plus, if I type there I'm able to get like what there database username and password. Now it is connected with Oracle database 21.3 the version. Of course, I'm going to use the same version in our JDB's applications also. XE Express Edition I'm going to use. Oracle Express Edition, not Enterprise Edition. Alright, now inside this, select a star from EMP1. If I provide this, automatically here we are getting data. Now my question is, when I write this SQL query, what is going to be happen internally? How this query will be executed, then how we got the output? Whatever the data here we are getting in the database, no, the data is fetched here, but how that output is going to be generated? What happened internally? Right, that analysis I'm going to provide. Outline information I'm going to provide you, try to understand it, but too much internal is not possible. Just outline what is going to be happen internally. I'll explain to you. Try to understand it now. Now this is SQL prompt, or before this SQL prompt I'm telling to you, this is database. This is database. Now inside this database we have a table, EMP1 table. Inside this table, ENO, ename, ESAL, EADDR, there is a table. Alright, the table is ready. Inside this table we have some data. One 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 AAA 5000 ADV and 222 6,000. Some name here we have to take 333. 7,000. Add a bit 444. Add a bit. The data here we have taken. Okay, fine. This is like what their EMP1 table. Okay, fine. Remember carefully, when we are taking this database, inside this database we have a table. Here to perform the database operations, we are going to take a separate engine. C programs are executed by an engine, C engine. C++ programs are executed by an engine, C++ engine. Python programs are executed by an engine, Python engine called as PVM, Python Virtual Machine. Similarly, Java programs are executed by an engine, Java engine, JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Similarly, database operations or database related code executed by an engine. That engine is called as what? Database engine. That engine is called as what there? Database engine. In other words, we may call it as what there? Database server. It may be like what there? Database server. Now database engine or database server that we can identify. Right, so nice, good. Next one is whenever we have taken this database engine, then what next one here? Now I want to execute SQL query. To execute this SQL query, here we are going to provide command prompt. What we are providing there? Command prompt. Now, inside this command prompt, the prompt is SQL. Now, I want to write the SQL query like what there? Select a star from EMP1, semicolon. This is my query. Okay, on SQL prompt we have taken like what there? SQL query. Select a star from EMP1. Now, this is database engine. Everybody put more concentration from this point here. When we click on enter button with this particular SQL query, automatically this SQL query will be provided to the database engine. SQL query will be provided to what their database engine. Got it or not? Next one is when this query is coming to the database engine is able to execute that query by following phases. By having that following phases. What are the various phases here? The very first one is query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization, query execution. Right, sir. Now overall, how many phases are available now? Tell me. 4 phases. What are the 4 phases? You know, first one is what there? Query tokenization. Next one is what there? Query parsing. Query optimization. Then what is the last one? You know, query execution. Clear or not? All right. So what is the purpose of each and every step now? One after another, they are going to be executed. First of all, understand it. What is the meaning of this query tokenization? The main purpose of the query tokenization is it will take the provided SQL query. It will divide this total SQL query into the number of parts, number of pieces, where each and every piece is called as a token. Finally, a stream of tokens will be generated as an output. Come again, what is the purpose of this query tokenization here? No, the purpose of the query tokenization is it will take the provided SQL query, it will divide that provided SQL query into the number of pieces, where each and every piece is called as a token. So finally, a stream of tokens here we are able to get as an output. Now select star from EMP semicolon. These are the various tokens here we are getting from this query tokenization inside this one. There we are getting that output is what there? Stream of tokens. That means what there? Multiple tokens. Number of tokens are generated, that number of tokens are provided as an output. But when we provide these tokens as an output, that should be an input to do what their query parsing phase. That will be an input to do what their query parsing phase. All right. Then what this query parsing phase is able to do now? What query parsing phase is performing? The main purpose of the query parsing phase is to check errors inside the provided SQL query. Say for example, in my SQL prompt, if I type select from a star EMP1, if I type it, what I'm getting there? Error at line 1, missing expression. Sir, what is missing there? Missing expression. There we are getting error not. Then how we are getting this error here now? That error here we are getting as part of what there? Query parsing phase. The main purpose of this query parsing phase is what? It will check errors inside the provided SQL query. But how it is able to check? What is that internal concept now? Internal concept is whatever the tokens which are provided by query tokenization phase, the tokens will be taken as an input by query parsing phase. By using the tokens, by using these tokens, it is trying to construct a tree representation. It is trying to construct a tree representation. The name of the tree is what? Query tree. The name of the tree is what there? Query tree. If the query tree is success, no syntax errors in our provided query. If query tree is a failure, there is a syntax error inside our what there? Provided SQL query. This is outlined information we have to understand. Yes, sir, got or not? Then how syntax errors are checked inside the provided SQL query? Query parsing phase will take all the provided stream of tokens as an input. By using the tokens, it's trying to construct a query tree. If the query tree is not successful, syntax errors are available. If the query tree is successful, no syntax errors are available. In that way, query parsing phase is able to check the syntax errors. And finally, now get observe carefully. After that, what it is doing there? For example, this we can understand it like what their query tree. Just as an example, I'm telling to you a tree representation. Right, sir. In my MTech classes, I have done a project with my personal interest. I have done the project in my MTech. There the project is what their compiler construction. Compiler construction with the help of my HOD. I have done that project almost all 65 to 70% of the process we completed, but remaining 30%. But by the time I completed my MTech and I came outside, then I'm busy with these classes. Then that was not completed. Part of this compiler construction, all these concepts we analyzed. Whatever the concepts now I'm talking there, all these are like what there part of the compiler construction. The same things are available inside the database engine. If you finish the compiler construction for Java, or not only for Java, any programming language, it is very simple to understand database engine. Nothing is there. See, in the case of compiler construction, inside the compiler, what structure is available? Right, what structure is available inside the compiler? No, lexical analysis phase, syntax analysis phase, semantic analysis phase, intermediate code generation, code optimization, code generation. Almost all similar phases are available here, but for query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization, and what next one? Query execution. Not only in the case of this, if you go for any process where compilation is going to be happen or where interpretation is going to be happen, where definitely these similar steps only are going to be happen. Okay, that depends on our technology, what we are using there anyway. Leave it, not required now. Now finally, now concentrate on this particular point here. Now this is what I am telling there, query tree. This is what I am telling there, query tree. Finally, query parsing phase is able to generate what their query tree. Query parsing phase is able to generate what their query tree. Observe carefully. Now come again. What is the purpose of the query parsing phase? No, the main purpose of the query parsing phase is to check the syntax errors in the provided SQL query. How it is able to check the syntax errors in the provided SQL query? It is able to check the syntax errors in the provided SQL query by taking all the tokens from query tokenization phase as an input, and by constructing a tree representation on the base of the tokens. The tree representation is what there? Query tree. The tree representation is what there? Query tree. Got or not? So when this query tree is generated successfully, no syntax error is available. If this query tree is not generated successfully, there are some syntax errors in the provided SQL query. So finally, it is able to generate what their query tree as an output from what their query parsing phase. Okay, sir, good. Query parsing phase is completed. It is decided that no syntax errors in our provided SQL query. Then what next one? What next one? Query optimization phase. See, this query optimization phase uses number of optimization mechanisms over the query tree. It implements number of optimization mechanisms over the query tree in order to reduce query execution time and query execution memory. In general, for what purpose we are implementing optimizations? Some process is available. For what purpose we are going to do optimizations over the process? Just to improve the performance. But how that performance is going to be improved there? By reducing the processing time and by reducing the memory utilization. Then automatically performance of the operation will be improved. Here also the same scenario. Just we have written select a star from EMP1. Maybe you might be provided one condition where clause where E cell less than 10,000 and E cell greater than 5,000. Like this here if you provide. Internally it has to perform some comparisons or not. It has to perform some join operations internally or not. While performing these join operations, while performing these search operations internally, it may go for number of optimization mechanisms. So it will apply optimizations over the processing, internal processing, by using what their number of optimization mechanisms. By implementing that optimizations over the code, over the query tree, automatically we are able to get what their optimized query tree here we are able to get. What query tree here we are able to get there? Optimized query tree here we are able to get. Now finally the point what I am telling to you, that query optimization phase is able to apply number of optimization mechanisms. As a result of this number of optimization mechanisms over the query tree, optimized query tree will be generated from the query optimization phase. Still that operation is not performed, database operation is not performed, but optimization algorithms are implemented over the query tree. So here we are able to get what there? Optimized query tree that we are able to get. Whenever we are getting this optimized query tree, this is like what there? Optimized query tree. Whenever we are getting optimized query tree, if we give that optimized query tree as an input to the query execution phase, that query execution phase will execute the optimized query tree. It will perform the respective database operation. In our case, the database operation is what they select SQL query. So it fetch the data from the database table. That fetch data will be given back to like what there, back to the client. That fetch data will be provided back to what their client. Who is client here in this case? No. Who is client here inside this? No. Here the client is what their command prompt. So for database, who is the client? No, command prompt. So for example, in place of this command prompt, if I prepare a Java program, now Java program is acting as a client. In fact, writing Java program in place of command prompt is nothing but JDBC. Yes, sir, got my point or not? Nothing is there inside the JDBC. Now we have used what their command prompt. But in JDBC, what I'm going to do, in place of command prompt, I'm going to use what there? A Java program. I'll write SQL query inside the Java program. I'll send that SQL query from Java program to the database. Database engine will execute by following this process now. It will perform the database operations. It will find the solutions for it. It will find the results. That results will be given back to what their Java program. But anyway, now here we are not using any Java program. Here we are providing like what their SQL prompt. That means a command prompt is acting as a client now. When these database operations are completed, immediately results must be generated. Results must be generated at our SQL prompt. What results here we are able to get actually? Now the results would be like what there? ENO, ESAL, EADDR. Now inside this 111 AAA 5000 IDV 222 BBB and 6000 IDV 333. Next one is what there? CCC 7000 IDV. Like this here we are getting the data. Then 444 DDD 8000. Next one is what there? IDV. The data here we provided clearly. This is exactly the data what we are getting from what there, from the database table. That is provided by whom? That is provided by the database engine. That's it. So this is totally the query processing system. Now here, what is query processing system? If you observe this total story: query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization, and what next one here? Query execution. This total process is what there? Query processing system. Query processing system. That's it. All of you are getting clarity on these points now? Right, so now let me take this diagram. I want to give the document also there. Right. Now understand it. When we submit an SQL query to the database, database will execute the provided SQL query by using the following steps. When we send an SQL query to the database, database will execute the provided SQL query by using the following steps. Right. First one is what there? Query tokenization. It will query tokenization. It will generate a stream of tokens as what there? As an output. It will generate a stream of tokens as an output. Okay, then before that, what I'm telling there, it will take the provided SQL query as an input. It will divide the complete SQL query. It will divide the complete SQL query and the number of tokens, and it will generate a stream of tokens as an output. Next one is point number 2. Query tokenization is okay. Then what next one get after this? No? Query parsing. What is the meaning of it? No, it will take the stream of tokens as an input from the query tokenization phase. Next one is what there? It will right, sir. From the query tokenization, it will take a stream of tokens. With the stream of tokens, a tree a tree will be constructed. A tree will be constructed by the query parsing system. It will be right, sir. With the stream of tokens, a tree will be constructed by the query parsing system called query tree. If the query tree is successful, then there are no syntax errors in the provided SQL query. If the query tree is not successful, if the query tree is not successful, then there are some syntax errors in the provided SQL query. Is that clear or not? It will take a stream of tokens as an input from the query tokenization phase. With the stream of tokens, a tree will be constructed by the query parsing system called query tree. If the query tree is successful, then there are no syntax errors in the provided SQL query. If the query tree is not successful, then there are some syntax errors in the provided SQL query. Right, so this is like what I'm telling you, query parsing phase. Now the third one, what about this third one here? Actually, query optimization phase. Query optimization phase. Then what is the main intention of this optimization phase? No, right, sir. It will take query tree as an input. It will take query tree as an input. It will perform the number of query optimization mechanisms over the provided query tree. Right, so it will perform the number of query optimization mechanisms over the provided query tree in order to reduce query execution time and query memory. In order to reduce the query execution time and memory. Right, sir. Now this is finally like what there, query optimization phase now. Then fourth one is what there, query tokenization, query parsing, query optimization, and lastly, what about the last one again? No, query execution. How this query execution is going to be happen? If you understand it, this phase will use an interpreter. This phase will use an interpreter to execute the provided SQL query. Interpreters are utilized there inside this one. Interpreter will execute the provided SQL query. Okay, right, sir. Then finally, the node type of want is what there, when all phases of the query execution, is completed, query processing system will send the generated results to the respective client. When all phases of the query execution is completed, query processing system will send the generated results to the respective client. Then finally, client is able to get the respective data. That's it. Now this is the total awareness and like what there, query processing system. Yes, sir, all of you get my point or not? This is the meaning of like what there, query processing system. Clear? All of you are getting clarity? All of you are following or not? Right, sir. All right, now see this one. After completion of this, the next one is JDBC definitions. What is JDBC? If I ask a question to you, what you are going to give response? Yeah, of course, abbreviation is okay. Everybody ready to give abbreviations. No? Java, database, connectivity. My son also giving the same definition. All right. Apart from that, what I require the information? No, listen carefully. Definition 1, I am telling to you one by one, try to understand it clearly. JDBC is a step-by-step process. It is a step-by-step process to interact with the database from Java applications in order to perform database operations from the Java applications. Understand it? No, this in order to perform database operations from Java applications is a common and is a target for every definition of the JDBC. I'm going to give 3 to 4 definitions, no, for JDBC. For in every definition, the common thing is what there, in order to perform database operations from Java applications. So the main concept of JDBC is what there, performing database operations from Java applications. I said to you already, in this diagram, we are performing database operations from where? From where? From command prompt. Here the client is what? Command prompt. But in place of command prompt, I want to use what there? I want to use a Java program. But from one, if you are using Java program in place of this command prompt, what we require here? No, first of all, we need an environment to establish connection with the database, and we need an environment to write a query inside our Java program. We need an environment to send the written query from Java program to the database. We need an environment to make the database engine to execute our SQL query. We need an environment to get back the results from the database to the Java application. At Java program, we can display the results. Now tell me, this entire thing is a systematic or not? This entire content is a step-by-step process or not? The total thing is called as what their step-by-step process or not? That's why JDBC is what? JDBC is the step-by-step process to interact with the database from Java applications in order to perform database operations from the Java applications. Right, sir? Now this is like what their first definition. Right, the second definition, all of you understand it now. JDBC is a technology, not a programming language. JDBC is a technology, not a programming language. It can be used to connect with the database from Java applications in order to perform in order to perform the database operations from Java applications. So this is by default conclusion, sir, inside the JDBC. Then we are talking about the JDBC entirely just to perform the database operations from Java applications. That's it. All right, sir. Now JDBC is what there? Now tell me, a technology, not a programming language. Now I have a doubt. What is technology and what is programming language? What is the meaning of technology and what is the meaning of programming language? We have to understand it first. After that, we are going to understand by using this technology how we are going to connect with the database from Java applications. Simple example. Core Java is a programming language. Why it is a programming language? No. In Core Java, new syntaxes are defined. New rules and regulations for Java were defined. New foundation was provided. Everything is defined, definition only, not in application. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? Core Java is everything is what their foundation, not in application. So that is what their a programming language. Got my point or not? But on the basis of this foundation, if we prepare some libraries, on the basis of this foundation, if we prepare some other libraries for a particular type of application development, if we prepare any library to prepare a particular type of applications, then that library, whatever the library here we have taken, that library is called as what there? A technology. Understand my point here? Core Java is not a technology. People are saying that inside and outside there, people are saying that directly Java is a technology, but we should not accept it. Core Java is a programming language. JDBC is a technology. Servlet is a technology. EJB is a technology. JSP is a technology. Web services is a technology. Microservices is a technology. Yes, sir, got it or not? Now, okay, but understand it clearly. Understand it clearly. What I am telling to you. Core Java, why it is a programming language? Inside the core Java, new definitions, new syntaxes, new rules and regulations, the total foundation is going to be provided. That's why it is a programming language. On the top of this programming language, a set of libraries will be prepared to perform a particular type of operations or to create a particular type of applications. Then that set of predefined library, the set of libraries are called as what there? A technology. Now JDBC is a technology, not a programming language. How sir? How can we say that JDBC is a technology, not a programming language? No. JDBC is a collection of predefined classes and interfaces. JDBC is a collection of classes and interfaces designed on the top of the core Java. JDBC is designed on the top of what there? Core Java. But in JDBC, no new syntaxes are available. Only the syntaxes what we are using inside the core Java, we are using the same type of syntaxes. Whatever the syntaxes we are having inside the core Java, the same type of syntaxes we are able to use inside what there? JDBC. No new syntaxes are defined inside the JDBC. Whatever the features which are available inside the core Java, the same features are available in what there? JDBC. No new features are defined. Yes, sir, got my point or not? The same class, same object, same encapsulation, same polymorphism, same inheritance, all the same as it is. The same things are available inside like what there? Inside the JDBC. So because of this reason, we can conclude that JDBC is what there is a technology, but core Java is what there? A programming language. Well, if you're getting clarity or not? Next one is after that, other point here I'm telling to you, understand it now. Right, sir. Another definition. JDBC is the collection of JDBC is the collection of predefined classes and interfaces. In other words, what I am telling there is an API. JDBC is what there is an API. Collection of predefined classes and interfaces, or else API, application programming interface. Don't think about that microservices, web services API. That is different. Now this API is different. Just as a general terminology. JDBC is an API. Is a collection of predefined classes and interfaces. Okay, which are used to interact with the database, databases from the Java applications in order to perform the database operations. JDB is a collection of predefined classes and interfaces which are used to interact with the databases from Java applications in order to perform database operations from the Java applications. Same, the target is very same. No changes are in it. That entire JDBC is mainly for performing database operations at the databases from Java applications. Okay, right, sir. There no need to have any discussion over this. Already said you. Just now I said you the technology in the sense what there already core Java is available. Over the top of this core Java, a set of predefined class and interfaces we are going to create, which are used to perform, which are used to connect with the databases, which are used to perform the database operations from Java applications. So here JDBC is a collection of what there predefined classes and interfaces. That is what there an API. Has it got or not? All right, sir. Next one. Yeah, this definition is a bit difficult to understand, but we have to understand it clearly. Definition 4. Listen, put more concentration. I will take some examples to explain this part here, but your attention is also important. JDBC is an abstraction. JDBC is an abstraction provided by the Sun Microsystems. Provided by Sun Microsystems and implemented by the database vendors to perform in order to perform the database operations from the Java applications. JDBC is an abstraction provided by Sun Microsystems and implemented by the database vendors. By using this implementation, by using JDBC implementations, we are able to connect with the databases. We are able to connect with the databases. We are able to connect with the databases in order to perform the database operations from JDBC application. JDBC is an abstraction provided by Sun Microsystems and implemented by the database vendors. By using these JDBC implementations, we are able to connect with the databases. We are able to connect with the respective databases in order to perform the database operations from the Java applications. That's it. Now there is a question now. What is the meaning of JDBC is an abstraction provided by Sun Microsystems? What is the meaning of this abstraction? This point here we have to understand. This is very clear. All right, almost all. Don't think about like what there. Encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism. It's okay. The technologies are okay. But what we achieved about the abstraction in object orientation is okay at one level. But this is the real abstraction. This is exactly the meaning of real abstraction. We are going to understand it. In your understanding level, very simple example. Very simple example. What I am asking to you, my question is, write a Java program to perform sorting over the elements. A list of elements are given, array of elements are given. What I am asking to you, write a Java program to sort out all the elements of an array. That's my question. How we are going to implement it now? Tell me. No, anyway, my answer is what? I'm not expecting answer from you. I know that you are not aware about it. Sure, very sure. Yes, sir. Any of you are able to give answer for it? Sorting order over the elements. Okay, of course. Then 5 minutes if you open Google, then everything will come there, right? No, Java also be available for you, but the only the problem is what? You are not having patience to sit on the internet to check the Java. That's why you are coming to my classes. Everything is available in YouTube. Everything is available in Google. Only the problem is what? You don't like YouTube and Google for Java, but you like YouTube and Google for some other purpose, no? Right? Arey yaar. Listen carefully. I have asked a question, but you are all implementing answer for this question. Clear? Do you have any guarantee all members are providing the same logic for my question? Maybe some people may use bubble sort, some other people may use selection sort, some other people may go for like what there, some different sorting algorithm. Like every person, they may have their own logic of implementing the sorting, but at the end you may finish it. At the end you may complete that logic. Yes, sir, got it or not? What I have asked here? Question. What you provided? Answers. Answers are different depending on the person. Got it or not? Myself is Sun Microsystem. You're all database vendors. Myself, I'm giving only question in the sense only declarative part. I'm giving only declarative part. What is the declarative part now? Write a Java program to sort out the elements like this. Just have given only declarative part. Even I have not given how to implement it. Just declarative part only I have given. But all of you have taken responsibility of providing implementation for the declarative part or not? This is abstraction. My question is an abstraction. Answer is not available. Only declaration is available. My question is an abstraction. But what you provided a real program, that is the implementation of this abstraction. So JDBC is an abstraction provided by Sun Microsystems. Means that JDBC is the collection of interfaces. It's a collection of interfaces. You know already what is the meaning of interface. What is there inside the interfaces now? Inside the interface, what methods are available? Abstract methods. What abstract methods are having? What abstract methods are having? Only prototypes, only method prototypes, only method signatures, only method declarative part. Method implementations are not available. Yes, sir, got it or not? So that abstract methods are taken completely in the form of interfaces. That interfaces are provided by me. Got my point or not? Then what I am asking to you, try to provide implementation for this. All database vendors must take the responsibility of providing implementations for these abstract methods. That is implementations for the interfaces. That is implementation for the JDBC abstraction. Yes, sir, got my point or not? So JDBC is an abstraction, means that collection of interfaces provided by Sun Microsystems, asking all the database vendors to provide your own implementations for this JDBC abstraction. Simple example, connection is an interface provided by Sun Microsystems in a JDBC abstraction. And ask all the database vendors, or let all the database vendors to provide your own implementation for this connection interface, part of the JDBC abstraction implementation. Immediately, Oracle people must take the responsibility of providing one implementation class for this connection interface as part of its JDBC abstraction implementation. MySQL people must take the responsibility of providing implementation for connection interface in the form of their own JDBC abstraction implementation. Similarly, DB2, similarly like what their MySQL, similar like what the SQL server, like so many database vendors are available. Every database vendor must take the responsibility of providing implementation for connection interface, part of their JDBC abstraction implementation. Not more than that. But why it is the case, why this thing is going to be happen, I'll explain to you later on. When I'm going to talk about drivers, then I'm able to explain to you clearly. There we have some concepts. But time being, we have to understand JDBC is what there is an abstraction provided by what? Come on, provided by what? Sun Microsystems, and implemented by all the database vendors. Implemented by what? All the database vendors. Got it or not? Then what next one here? Myself is Sun Microsystems, and yourself is what there? Database vendors. I provided abstraction, you provided implementation for that abstraction. Then what next? Just providing interface, providing implementation class is sufficient, no? Somebody else have to write main class and main method. Inside this main class and main method, they have to declare reference variable for interface. They have to create object for your implementation class, and they have to access members of your my interface members or not. That somebody else is required or not? Who is that somebody else? No. JDBC application developer. JDBC application developer will identify what database he wants to use. He will identify what implementation is available for the respective. Anything is problem? Getting bad smell? Yeah, that's why fans are required. That's it. Please switch on fans. All right, sir. Now come for our point here. What is the point I'm telling there? Sun Microsystems has provided all fans, right? Perfect. Sun Microsystems. It's okay, no problem. Yeah. Please remember all fans now. Every day you have to switch on fans now. That's fine. Now come for it. So Sun Microsystems has provided an abstraction. All the database vendors have provided what their implementations. These implementations are used by JDBC application developer to connect with the database from the Java application by using my library. By using Sun Microsystems declared methods, by calling Sun Microsystems declared methods, By using that implementations of the database vendors, JDBC application developer will interact with the database, will perform the database operation from Java application. That's finished. This is JDBC. Right here, understanding the point is important. But still, I'm not getting glowness in our faces now. Now tell me, what is going on? Here, three parties I'm discussing there. Myself is the first party. You are the second party. Third party is whom? JDB's application developer. Who is getting benefit now? JDB's application developer is getting flexibility because of this implementation. Now you may ask one question to me now. Sir, you are the Sun Microsystems, very good. You had very good knowledge as you are the Sun Microsystems on Java. Why you are not providing implementation for JDB's abstraction? Why you let that process to the all the database vendors know? You may ask this question now. Got it or not? But there we have to understand. For example, listen carefully. For example, I want to connect with the Oracle database. Oracle database is not Java. Oracle database was not created in Java. But at one side, Java application is available. From Java application, you have to connect with the Oracle database. You have to perform database operations from Java application on Oracle database. Oracle is at one side, Java program is at another side. Think about it. So I require JDBC implementation with respect to the Oracle to connect with Oracle database from Java application. Am I right or not? Okay. Keep aside. MySQL database is available. Now I want to connect with MySQL database from Java application. If I want to connect with MySQL database from Java application, I need an implementation for JDBC with respect to the MySQL database. DB2 database now. If I want to connect with the DB2 database from Java application, then I need an implementation with respect to the DB2 native implementations to connect with the DB2 database from Java application. Right or not? Okay, this is the actual scenario. If you ask this question to the Sun Microsystems, why don't you provide implementation for this JDB's abstraction? Why you let that option to the all the database vendors? If we ask this question now, answer is very simple. What is that answer? Can know implementations of the JDBC must have database nativity. But the database nativity must be provided by whom? Sun Microsystems or database vendor? Database vendor must provide the nativity of their own database. Got my point or not? But if myself is a Sun Microsystem, if you are expecting implementation from myself, what I'm able to provide max? No, max I'm able to provide a generalized mechanism. I can define only a generalized mechanism, not specific to any particular database. If I take any particular database, if I provide implementation, that will be worked out for only that database only. But JDBC is common for all the databases or not? If it is common to all the databases, what Sun Microsystems has to provide? Sun Microsystems has to provide only generalization, common implementation, commonalities only. But somebody else must take the responsibility of implementing the JDBC with respect to the databases. So instead of that somebody else, if I give that opportunity for all the database vendors, they can implement in their own way implementation for JDBC. They will provide the JDBC implementation in their database softwares only. If any JDBC application developer required wants to interact with Oracle database, they will open it where they will search for the JDBC implementation in that Oracle database. They will use that implementation. They'll connect with that database and they'll perform database operations. That's it. Not more than that. All right, sir. So finally, what I have given that information here, just only discussion I have given there about this point. Mainly here today, my concentration is what there, JDBC definitions. Overall, what are the definitions here I given there? 4 definitions. In all 4 definitions, target is very same, but only the terminology is different. JDBC is a step-by-step process. JDBC is a technology, not a programming language. JDBC is an API. JDBC is an abstraction provided by Sun Microsystems and implemented by all the database vendors. All these 3 things are used to connect with the databases from Java applications in order to perform the database operations from Java applications. That's it. Is it? Got it or not? That's it. Thank you. Remaining part we will discuss tomorrow.